Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me tonight, it's Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Hinks, we are almost there. The penultimate game of the season. The home finale, the final game of the Wells Fargo era. The naming rights expire in August. Obviously, there won't be any postseason or anything for either team that plays in the building to continue using that name. So this is pretty much it. And we have team awards tonight as well, while the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Flyers' opponent, are still alive in the playoff race. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. I love any excuse to bust out the word penultimate. So it's a good day.
Yeah.
For me, it's a great word.
Makes me feel very smart when I use it.
You are very smart, William.
Oh. Yeah, sure. No, it's really good. I'm already texting Charlie about Thursday's post game. Like, should we pop champagne? It just feels as if this
get those
season,
Pabst lights out.
Oh yeah, grab those Pabst lights. It really does feel as if this season has gone on forever. And listen, we knew the deal. John Tortorella said it in training camp. The goaltending scares the hell out of me. And when you get the kind of goaltending the Flyers did, the season can be, only 82 games. There's plenty of teams that are going to play a lot more, but certainly has felt a lot more than that when you just aren't playing for a whole lot. Matvei Michkov made it a lot easier. His hot streaks were especially fun this year, but It was can only imagine the players getting screamed at by John Tortorella for 9/10 of the season. Like, it probably wore on them too. I know it is worn on the fans because, man, like Friday's show, I'm already planning, like, okay, we're gonna do a playoff preview. I know we all miss playoff hockey. We miss it so desperately, and it's just kind of an afterthought at this point. I mean, they've made it once since 2018, and that was there weren't even fans in the building in 2020, so was it even the playoffs? It's all about the atmosphere. Well, there was none. It's been a long road for the fans, but hopefully some of the things we saw this season are light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, and I also miss, I got to tell you, being in Montreal, being in that building, God, I miss that so much. Just like so loud that you like feel bones. There are so many people probably watching this show that have never experienced the Farg like at that level of crazy. And it used to be like that all the time. And I just can't wait until we get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's we're our generation, like really the tail end. Like you and I experienced the Spectrum mostly, through the Phantoms, never really got that sort of experience, that sort of atmosphere. But, the 90s Flyers teams and then the runs they went on, 04, 08, 2010, at least we have those. Fans younger than us, Kelly, my God, thanks. Yeah. First of all, thanks for sticking with this freaking team. But it has been the opposite of the rest of Flyers history, and I get why people are frustrated with this team and all. We'll have lineup stuff for you. Nothing has changed. But let's talk team awards, Kelly, because they are supposed to be announced. They were announced. I think at 6:15 they came out. Mm-hmm. I think it was on the ice so they could get everything done and still have puck drop at the normal time. But we have all of our winners, Kelly. And I want to look back first at our preseason predictions. And some of them came true. Let's see here. You got the Ashby. You were right on the Ashby. I got the Lindbergh. I was right there. Leading scorer. We will still see. I mean, if it's points, Konechny running away. But there's a three-way tie for the goal lead. Right now in playoffs, we were all wrong. But let us start with the Clark MVP award. It goes to Travis Konechny. I had Coots, you had Michkov, and Charlie had Sam.
Charlie,
Erston. He really went all in on.
He was such a believer.
Yeah. He was. Listen, I picked Couturier to have the complete bounce back, win the Selke, and that was going to mean he was team MVP. So it's not as if not as if I was that much closer to nailing this, but it ends up being Travis Konechny. And even with the second half goal scoring drought, he's still going to have 70 plus points. He's going to have 60 assists this season, which is pretty crazy for a team that really doesn't score a ton. And he is the best player on the team. It's going to be Matvei Michkov, absolutely. But TK plays in all three situations, plays the most ice time of all the forwards, leads them in scoring. Kind of a no-brainer with him as MVP, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things. I do this every year. I'm so annoying. Where I'm like, what does MVP even mean? Does it mean
what is value?
Player? I know, right? Yeah, it's. I do that every time. So I could be super annoying and just argue that it should be Michkov because he is the most valuable player to the team. But Travis Konechny definitely earned this. He had that cold streak, but for the rest of the season, he was so sick. And I do think that his leadership, I think, is probably something that gets underplayed a lot, just because he's like, kind of a goofball on the ice. I think maybe people don't think of him as a leader, but I have a feeling that like he's a big lead by example guy, kind of like Giroux was, and that the kids are learning a lot from him having this kind of season.
I will, in terms of your argument for value, like if we're talking about to the organization, I would like to stack up the number of jerseys sold for Michkov and Konechny and see who's actually more valuable to this team, especially when you weigh their salaries, who's really the most valuable here. But yeah, it's if they went Mish, which they were never going to do for a rookie unless like he was a point a game player or something, that would have been totally fine with me, 100%. But TK all the way. The Ashby goes to Travis Sanheim. Probably should have been a little more predictable. I think some of us were just like, let's see if somebody. Yeah, I mean, he's the best defenseman on the team. Yeah. It makes sense. Like, who else would they go? Okay, Cam York has a shot. Well, the coach is outwardly threatening the career of Cam York, so I don't think he was going to get the opportunity to do it. No. Jamie Drysdale came along, but it's not as if, he was great every night. We just saw him make some strides. I think Risto, if he doesn't get hurt, has a chance. Yeah, like they were using him as the number one at some points before the injury. But, when you finish the season on IR, I don't think you can get the best defenseman award when the other dude's playing 26 minutes a night. So it's Travis Sanheim there. And I have my issues with Sanheim personally. I just, if you don't score and you're not physical, I often wonder what it is you're doing. But it's clear he is really the only defenseman with the team's trust at this point.
Yeah, and it's I mean, like, he shouldn't be our best defenseman, and it's not his fault that that's how this ended up. And so he's stuck with like all of the minutes and all of the toughest assignments. And like, he does a pretty good job with what he's given. And I do agree that if Risto had not been hurt, I think that he could have probably made a case for himself. There was
at least an argument.
Yeah, when he was healthy, he looked pretty good. So at least we've got that going for us. We've got two sort of good defensemen on the team.
Yeah, that's two sort of good defensemen.
It's great.
None of us are absolutely positive. One of them is going to be here, but it's going to be, kind of difficult, I would assume, to trade a guy who's ended you're injured 2 years in a row. Like, when you get to the playoffs, you need Rasmus Ristolainen. Well, how does he get to the
every year?
How does he get to the playoffs if he's never available in March? That's kind of one of those issues there. And what was the most improved? The most improved. This one probably had the most arguments for a couple of different guys. It ends up going to Bobby Brink. And congratulations to Bobby. And we all kind of thought it was going to be Noah Cates. I appreciate, because I've said all along, like, I think it's going to be Cates, because the precedent of this award with Travis Sanheim having won it twice means what happened 2 years ago doesn't really matter. If you had a down year the previous year and bounced back, well, you're the most improved. And so we kind of thought that's what was going to happen with Cates. But Bobby Brink, along with Drysdale, I think, absolutely had the best cases for this. Brink is, I believe, over 40 points now for the season. Maybe he's at 39. So he's Pretty nice season for a guy who has been used in kind of a role you wouldn't expect. Yeah, he's counted on to generate some offense for that Cates and Forster line, be the most creative puck handler on that line, be a distributor, but they get the toughest matchups. Cates is used as your shutdown C, and oftentimes that's the line with the most minutes, especially if you're just looking at even strength minutes. And Bobby Brink has looked pretty freaking good.
Yeah, he has. And I wonder if, because Drysdale's improvement didn't really kick in until he came back from that injury. And I wonder if that kind of factored in a little bit for him. Because I mean, like, like if you look at Jamie Drysdale this April versus Jamie Drysdale last April, like, yeah, there's definitely an improvement there. But like over the course of the season, I think Brink and Cates probably had a stronger case. And I like it going to Brink, and the team votes for it. So it's cool that they're giving him a little love.
Absolutely. Big fan of Bobby Brink. I've said and it's a Charlie thing. Like, the guy has rounded out his game enough that we'll get the opportunity. Well, he'll get the opportunity to show if he can score at like a top 6 level or something that makes him more than one of, 9 right wingers on this team with a little offensive upside. Yeah. He has become a complete enough player that he'll get that shot. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Bobby Brink brings. In terms of the rest of the awards, I have Charlie's tweet right here. Yeah, the class guy, the Dupree Award, goes to Travis Sanheim as well. Garnet Hathaway is the Alumni Community Leadership Award. He was also nominated for like a, what was the like league award that he got? I just tweeted it like a few minutes ago and forget.
My brain just went totally blank. Hold on.
And
what is it?
I have it right here.
We're so good at this.
Yeah. Where'd you go? Where did yeah, as we're both scrolling here. They made so many announcements today. Regardless. Oh, here it is.
Regardless.
Yeah, the King Clancy. That's what it is. The King Clancy Memorial Trophy.
That's the one.
It's one of the awards where every team has a nominee. He was the nominee for the Flyers. It's for the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice and makes a noteworthy humanitarian contribution to his community. I saw them in the article. Talks about, I think it's Hath's Heroes. He honors first responders, make sure their families are taken care of and stuff. So that is an important award. And then the Toyota Cup, the most 3-star points, that goes to Michkov. So that kind of goes along with the MVP case a little bit. Like, I don't know, he was the star of the game the most. Now, especially at home, it's going to be the guy people want more than not, so maybe that's a little weighted there. But he does come away with the Toyota Cup as a rookie, most 3-star points throughout the season. Not a bad beginning to the Mad Russian's career. So those are the Flyers team awards. Oh, and the Gene Hart Memorial Award for the player who has the most heart, as voted on by the Flyers fan club. Shout out to our buddy Alan. Noah Cates won the Gene Hart Memorial Award there from the fan club. So those are the team awards. Our predictions, some of them were out on a limb and didn't really come through, but I think we did way better than especially I did in like the NHL predictions this year. I got my ass kicked in that little competition. So I'm gonna hang my hat on Bobby Brink as most improved. That's something I'm gonna take to the bank.
All three of us thinking that the goaltending was going to improve enough for them to get to the playoffs is really funny in hindsight.
It's just like
the exact opposite.
As Charlie would say, there, you got to look at it in terms of percentages. I thought it was a coin flip whether it like Sam Ersson could be the guy or not, and we found out like no, that's probably not him. It was a low percentage, but it existed. Hey, maybe Fedotov is something. Maybe he can just be a league average backup. And then, hey, man, if we had a league average backup a year ago, they're in the playoffs by a lot. And it just didn't go that way. So it didn't work. But no playoffs for the Flyers. Let's get to today's lineup. Charlie let us know earlier, as all the beats did. It'll be Sam Ersson in net tonight. What do you think of this, Kelly? Like, I guess we're give him the final home game.
Yeah.
Maybe give Kolosov or Fedotov the closer. Where the hell are they? In Buffalo? That's a real
Buffalo,
trick.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. Like he is your guy, so you give him this last game.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they went with him in Buffalo too.
I guess not.
Yeah, we'll see. I do need him to could he just settle down these last 2 games? Like stop trying so hard. Like go back to what you were 3 weeks ago. Like that's what I need from you at this point.
Do you remember last year after his big implosion, the last couple games he did finish strong? And I was like, well, that's nice and all, but maybe we don't need to win a couple of these games, And I'm feeling that way now. We'll get to it in the bets and the Blue Jackets segments, but like Blue Jackets really need this one. However, not looking great. It's not looking awesome for Columbus, just in terms of the trends. But we'll get to that in a bit. For the lineup, I have not seen if there are any official lines yet. But morning skate was exactly what
all the same,
exactly what we have come to expect. Cates, Forster, Brink, Coots, TK, Michkov, Paling, Peltier, Tippett, Dorwart, Delorier, Hathaway. Defense, Sealer, Sanheim, York, Drysdale, Zamula, Andre. I was interested to see, though, because we got a little news today from Elliot Friedman. The long national nightmare of 3 days is over. It's going to be Alex Bump to the AHL on an amateur tryout, and his ELC starts next year. So we're settled. We're good. Alex Bump has signed. No more need for Ajita. But Boston University's Devin Kaplan joining the team, burning a year on his ELC. I was interested to see if maybe he would get into tonight's game. Perhaps
getting in tomorrow on Thursday.
Perhaps we will see him Thursday. He's got some interesting upside. Third rounder in 2022 was Devin Kaplan, right shot winger, played right wing at BU. Not exactly a scorer though. 64 points in 115 college games. Production didn't really change from like first through third year, basically the same points per game, goal totals right around the same. He was just kind of a guy there, not super productive, but you look at him, 6'3", 201. And the thing I love, Kelly, Jersey represent. He's a 21-year-old from New Jersey. So we have a New Jerseyan in the fold, as we should. North Jersey, but all
still counts.
Yeah.
First thing is I'm doing a bit, and as you know, commitment to bits is the most important thing to this show.
Radio,
one time I sat next to Devin Kaplan's billet dad at a Pearl Jam show in Chicago. Randomly.
That's the greatest thing I think I've ever heard. That is the most random possible combination of words that we could have like thrown up, like my bucket with the keyword winners in it, the keyword contestants. If we had just thrown it up, like that is some.
I'll tell the story some other time. I'm not going to dominate post.
Kelly,
but
Kelly, Pearl Jam, billet dad, Flyers prospect. This is BSH Radio and PHLY Flyers Mad Libs.
Yeah. The other thing that I find interesting is that they were willing to burn his first year, and that makes me wonder, like, they're obviously higher on Bump than Kaplan. Like, they're very, very high on Bump. And I wonder if them being willing to burn his first year for one game makes me think that they're kind of like, is this a guy? Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's see. Like, so I found that interesting.
He was a third rounder of a previous regime who wasn't super productive in college. Right. I think it's like, even if he like turns into something, what is his RFA deal going to be in a couple of years? Like,
it doesn't matter.
It ain't breaking the bank. It's probably going to be the same salary he'd make on his entry-level contract. So, but we'll see. Maybe we get a look at Devin Kaplan before the season comes to a close. But Kelly, it is time for the bets. That's right. This pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. If you were somebody who knows a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 2 bets today. We're going to take the Flyers to win on the money line at plus 125. It was 120 this morning. Their odds actually got further along as the day went. Mostly I'm trying to jinx them, pretty much. Also, Columbus is 13-23-4 on the road this year. They are rough when they leave the friendly confines of Columbus. So one way or the other, I'm trying to cash in on what will be an annoying win for the Flyers.
I mean, in my mind, like, this is a game that the Flyers absolutely lose. Like, Columbus has to win. Like, they win or they're out. So one assumes they're going to be playing at like a much higher level and with a much more jump than the Flyers. But the Flyers keep just like accidentally winning these games. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again tonight.
And we are going to, speaking of New Jersey, take a James Van Riemsdyk anytime goal at plus 375. He's on a 3-game point streak. Little veteran leadership coming in clutch for them down the stretch. Has 2 goals and 3 assists in the last 3 games. Has only scored once against the Flyers since his last stint here, and that was last January. So it kind of just feels like we're due to be reminded of JVR tonight. And
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to get back into the playoffs, and that's where the Blue Jackets are. We take a look at the wild card standings, and it is a fairly straightforward path for Columbus to jump Montreal, Kelly. Columbus has 2 games left. They're 4 points down, and they have 1 fewer regulation win. So what they need is the Habs to lose in regulation tomorrow to Montreal, and they have to win tonight, and they have to win on, I think it's Thursday.
Whatever their last game is.
Against the Islanders on Thursday at home, and they get in. They need 2 regulation wins, and they need Montreal to lose its final game in regulation. Montreal has a big advantage in the regulation and overtime wins, the second tiebreaker. So if Columbus wins both games but only 1 in overtime, even if Montreal loses, they end up tied. Habs get in on the regulation overtime tiebreaker. They need the tie and the regulation win tiebreaker to
must-win
get
game
into the playoffs. It is a must-win game, which
bring it, boys.
It will lead to, like, it's a lot like the Flyers in the last game of the season last year, though. Like, yes, they should come out with more jump. They should, Columbus, be the better team, the more desperate team. But there's also that, well, if we go to overtime, it doesn't matter. So halfway through the third, if they're down a goal, it's, well, do they pull the goalie? Like, if they're down 2, that goalie comes out with 10 minutes left, you know?
I would think so.
So it could lead to some good fun, weirdness, some chaos tonight. But it's hard to find, I got to believe, outside of the city of Montreal, outside of Quebec, many people rooting against Columbus, Can
I just, no one yell at me.
Okay.
But I have this, like, there's certain teams that I think the league is better when these teams are good. And the Habs are one of those teams. And I'm definitely, like, not going to be upset if Columbus makes it over Montreal. But I do just kind of think that, like, just for the greater good of the NHL, it's good for the Canadiens to be a competitive team. So I kind of want them to make it, but also, like you said, this year, it's real hard to root against Columbus, and they were not supposed to be in this position. So
no, and got to give it to Don Waddell when he took over, and one of his first decisions, really, I think, was keeping that second-round pick last year, because it was like one of the first picks of the second round, and it transferred the pick the Flyers get from them from the Provorov trade to this year. And now, like, they're just higher in the standings regardless. But, like, if they make the playoffs, that's in the middle of the second round. If they miss, however, all 4 of the Flyers' second-round picks will belong to teams that missed the playoffs, their own Anaheim, Calgary, and then we'll see about Columbus. That's good. I mean, that guarantees all of those 7 picks in the top 50. Again, I don't think a single person alive expects them to draft 7 players.
Would be surprised
if it gives these picks more value And if we trade a couple and it's like, well, we still have other ones that we can make that are going to be, decent second round guys. Cool. That works out for everybody. So, incentive on both sides, I guess. If you don't care about the Blue Jackets at all, the story doesn't move you a little bit, and you're just looking at second round pick value, I guess you're rooting for Montreal. But still, I think everyone is more focused on the Flyers' first round pick and hopefully losing tonight. And if they're going to lose, do it in regulation, damn it.
Yeah. Just lose.
22. You weren't, I think it was the last post game I did with Steve. 22 of 80 games this year have gone to overtime. More than a quarter of the games have gone to overtime this year.
I felt like half.
Truly unbelievable. It really did. Honestly, I thought they were going to say 30. Yeah, but it's just been insane. But Columbus obviously incentivized not to allow that to happen tonight. So let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, Beej.
I was going to say something else and realized I probably shouldn't. I believe we have one super chat. So, Bree, if you would be so kind, let's see today's super chat. Oh, from JH, RIP Tank.
Not yet.
I saw a lot of people commenting like they just don't get it, like about Ersson starting. And I understand because like Fedotov and especially Kolosov, considerably worse. But Ersson is one of the 7 or 8 worst goalies in hockey this year statistically. Like, I guess it gives you a slight percentage-wise advantage, but, like, not really. It's not as if he's been good. Yes, he was good in his last game, and in this situation, I understand fans want to, just like wanting the 5th pick or the 5th best odds instead of the 6th best odds. Increase your chances of something good happening. But it's not as if Ersson is like single-handedly the reason they won a bunch of games. They're like, oh, if it wasn't for Ersson, we'd have the 1st pick. Like, no. He has been the reason they're bad.
Yes. And also, I just don't know what people expect them to do. They're just not that bad of a team. They're just not that bad. They've been given frustrating. They traded a bunch of dudes. They're playing teams that need to win.
Yes.
And for some reason, they're winning these stupid hockey games. And it's not even like they're playing all that particularly well.
They have the worst goaltending in hockey. They traded 3, let's call it 4, because one of them was a replacement and then was immediately traded. Top 9 forwards. Right. Risto's on IR. I don't know what they're supposed to do. Noah Cates is effectively their 1C again. I get, I'm pro tank. I just, I don't know what the players are supposed to do. I guess Danny Briere could just go up to TK and be like, your back hurts. Your back hurts. But, does that happen?
No.
I don't know.
No.
But it is, that said,
tonight's a loss. I feel it.
I sympathize and empathize with everyone because I feel it too. These wins are annoying. I just don't know what can actually be done about them.
Nothing.
They played, I think it was the first 40 minutes of the last game, because my friends in my text are like, I'll tell you what they can do. Play the 3rd and 4th line 20 minutes. I think Delorier had 9 some minutes through 2 periods the other game, and usually that's what he gets tops. The 4th line scored 2 goals. Garnet Hathaway had a goal and an assist. Delorier scored. There's
what is the other team doing letting Nick Delorier score goals?
That's on them. That's on them. That's plain and simple. All right, let's get to the game, Kelly. We are all obviously hoping for that regulation loss. This has been PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Before we get out of here, just want to tell you, go to allphly.com, sign up to be a diehard, take advantage of this awesome sale we're running, $36 for the year, and then check out the events tab. We have so many things going on. I'll give you a run through of them in postgame. We're short on time here. But go to the events tab, bookmark it, check it all out. Awesome golf outing coming up, lottery parties, Fran's film session, draft summit on Thursday. It's all great stuff. allphly.com/events. All right. I am Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. And until postgame, let's go BJs.
all silly like the mayor.